What's up, guys? Welcome to Sharpen Your Sword Podcast, episode 10. Today, we are featuring two of my favorite guys, two guys that I've been coaching for a while, two MMA fighters, and two very good friends, Jared the Showstopper Hopper and Aaron Flippin. And, of course, guys, the one and only co-host, Giovanni Jimenez. What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, guys. How are you guys doing?
I'm pretty great today.
Doing very well.
So for everybody watching, guys, this is kind of a fun podcast. Jared is one of the coaches at my gyms, and he's my very good training partner for MMA fights, as well as Aaron Flippin. So these guys help me in my fights. I help them in their fights. We help each other in competitions, and we're just like the three trio in MMA at our gym right now. So I wanted to bring him on, especially Jared Hopper. He's one of the coaches, so he has to be on this episode, on this podcast, so we can talk about fighting, mindset, and all of that. And that's not just for athletes, guys. So you're going to learn a lot about mindset, but this is going to transition to life, okay? Mindset is a very big thing. And with Sharpen Your Sword, guys, one of the swords is your mind, okay? So you have to sharpen it every day so you can be mentally sharp, so when a calamity happens or something crazy happens, you don't break down from a weak mindset. You're sharp and you're ready to fight, whether it's in MMA, jiu-jitsu, or in life, all right? So what to do. So we're going to start with, out of all these guys, Jared, did you come before Giovanni? Or Giovanni, were you there before Jared?
Yeah, I was there before Jared.
Yeah.
So Giovanni started in jiu-jitsu, and then Jared walks in later on. We had, I remember, we're going to get right into it, guys. We're going to go straight into the fighting and all this, how I met him. All right, so Jared came in. You know what? Jared, you tell us how everything happened.
Excuse me. Yeah, so it was October of 2020. I was back up in the Memphis area. I was in school for a little while, 2015 to 2019. I was training down there, doing some kickboxing and stuff. Had my first fight down there in 2018, right? And moved back up here because I graduated, and I tried out a couple gyms around here. I won't name names, but I walked into Border October of 2020. Excuse me. Jessica was still running the front desk, and I was like, I want to do the kickboxing class. I'm a kickboxer. Let me get in here. And you were coaching that class that day. Drew was the coach then, right? But you were filling in for him.
I think at that time I was a coach.
Oh,
no, maybe, I don't know. I forgot. It's been a while.
Well, it's been a minute.
It's been a while.
But yeah, you were coaching that day definitely, and you were holding pads for me, and you, I think Jess told you or whatever that I did Taekwondo. I'd fought before or something, and you were like, oh, okay, yeah. So let me see what he's about holding pads, man. Made me put that work in, dude. It was, and I knew right then because like I'd done like a couple weeks here and there at some other schools that were like, I was like, I could beat these coaches up. You know what I mean? I know that's really cocky to say. I'm sure people come in the gym and think that about me too, but whatever. Like, you put me through my paces that day. Ridiculous cardio workout, good technique, good coaching, and I was like, yeah, I'm here. This is it. This is what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
But that was that.
Dude, I remember that day like the back of my hand.
Yeah.
Like the back of my hand. And we're going to talk about gym politics and being a fighter and all this. But that day was a special day because look at us now, right? Back then, this is just the truth, right? I'm not going to hide it. It's like I would look at you like, I don't think he's going to last.
Yeah.
Right? Every fighter, I look at him the same way. It's not that I look at him as like he's worthless, but a lot of guys that come up in MMA run their mouth so much, right? They talk so much. Young guys talk about fighting this, doing this, UFC this, I'm not the best fighter in the world. I'll tell you that right now. I haven't even fought professionally. I've only fought amateur. My route took a different direction. But I've been around this for so freaking long. I've been around fighters for so long. I've been training for so long. And so I've learned to see who's serious, who's not. And so when she told me, she's like, yeah, this MMA fighter's coming in. I'm like, let's see what he's about, And thank God I was coaching that night. And I was like, I'm going to see what he's about. You had a very good technique. It's not like your technique was trash, You had a good Taekwondo background, and you were there. But, you see it now. Like, we have a different standard. You know, we have a different standard compared to other gyms, and there's a lot of good gyms. There's a lot of good MMA fighters, local MMA fighters, amateurs that are good, you know. But I believe our standard at our gym is at a different level, you know, especially if you want to fight.
Yeah, I would agree, like 100%.
Yeah. You know, if you want to fight, it's a different standard than you coming in as a hobbyist and training. And so the crazy thing is, guys, we went from that day of me pretty much testing Jared, the showstopper hopper, right, to see if he's really a showstopper or not. But I was surprised, and I knew he was serious because of this one thing. He walks over to the front desk, and he signs up for a year. Like, I'm in.
Yes, sir.
That was it. That's exactly how it happened. And I was like, really? This is going to be interesting, you know? And so when he did that, he earned my respect. And I talked about this in episode 1. When you do something, my respect goes from here to here, or it goes from here to here, you know? So it went from here to here. He survived the training. You know, he got to the end. He was gasping for air, but he got to the end.
That's for sure. Oh, man, I was tired.
I was pushing him. I didn't push him like an MMA fight, but I did push him to see what he's made out of, right? And so when guys come in that want to fight or claim to be fighters, I like to see how much of a man you are, you know? And he surprised me. You know, I would say we went 70% maybe out of 100 compared to our MMA camps. You know, 60, 70%.
Yeah.
And most guys quit at 30, 40 in our gym if we test them.
Yeah.
You know? And so he went from that day, now, guys, he's my best training partner. You know, he's in my corner, I'm in his corner. We're in other fighters' corners. We're both coaching the fighters now. It's not just me. And he's running my Muay Thai program. Yeah. You know, which makes me so happy because this guy, like, just like I said, my route took a different way. He's still fighting, but we didn't get to put in enough fights, right? But this guy's Muay Thai technique is better than a lot of professionals. A lot.
A lot.
I wouldn't make that statement myself.
I know you won't because you're being humble about it. But like I said, I've been around a lot of fighters. I've watched a lot of fights. And if you watch this guy's fights, go watch them. You know, I remember his first fight. Some guys came up to me, fighters, professionals, and they were this and that. They were talking, and I just told them, I said, just watch this guy. Was it first round finish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First round finish. Second MMA fight, first round finish. You know, just watch him. That's it. I'm not gonna sit here. I don't talk about my guys to other people. I'll say it on the podcast right now, but I'm not gonna go to an arena and be like, oh, hey, watch us, do this, watch this guy. I'm not gonna say, oh, he has this, and this. All I'm gonna say is just watch the fight. You know. Now it doesn't go all the way all the time, but you can see your level of striking. You know, and I can see it now in our guys that you're training. It's showing in their fights when they fought kickboxing. Some guys that were brand new. You know. So that's how we met, guys, and we just built a relationship, helping each other in fights. You know, cornering each other, and now he's the head coach at night for Muay Thai, which is a very big deal, and I'm happy I met this guy.
Man, I'm glad I'm here.
And here we are on the podcast talking about the fight stuff. And then Aaron Flippin, jiu-jitsu guy. Aaron, I'm going to let you tell them how you showed up to our gym.
I showed up in a similar way to Jared. I had been around some other gyms as well, mostly training jiu-jitsu, but like always looking to want to do MMA as a whole. And I got recommended your gym by our resident black belt, Grant. Great guy. He told me to come out, and I mean, the environment was incredible. I was there when the red mats were still there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I told Jess pretty much the same thing Jared said. I was like, I want to be a fighter. And she gave me that same, like, you know, okay.
Everybody already knew the rundown, how it operated. We already knew how the system worked when somebody comes in.
Yeah, but I think I signed up pretty much the same day. I definitely signed the waiver same day, and I definitely.
Yeah, we make you do that first day.
Yeah, I definitely signed
because you may not make it out.
And I mean, like the level of, that was just the jiu-jitsu class. I wasn't even at Muay Thai, but the level of talent from the jiu-jitsu class was like enough to really want me to be there, to make me want to be there. And then she told me about you and how you were an MMA fighter, and I had been to your Muay Thai classes, Mo. Before there was Friday competition class, there was Wednesday Mo class in Muay Thai.
Oh, I remember those days.
Yeah, they don't know about the push kicks up and down the mat. I remember. So, I don't know. There was, like, I know we're going to get into the mindset thing, but, like, being at this gym definitely made me think about fighting in a completely different way. Like, I understood what I was fully getting into. And, I mean, I kind of just have been here, like, the entire time through my injuries, through COVID, through, like, everything so far. It's been, like, a great experience. Too great, actually.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy how fast time flies by, too.
I know.
That's the thing, because I was thinking about it. I'm like, I'm getting these guys on the podcast. And I told Gio, I'm like, well, this podcast is going to be lit. Because the stories, like, Gio tells me stuff that I said, and I'm like, when did I say that? Like, yeah, you told me this, bro. And so, like, the other night, we were talking about sparring and, you know, what we call the initiation fee. We're not going to say how many rounds, but we have, like, an initiation fee. We have an initiation fee if you want to fight MMA with us. Not everybody can fight MMA with us. It has to be a certain way you fight. You have to train a certain way. You have to pass a test. Then you fight. And test is not a written test.
No.
We're going to see what your mind is made out of, and we're going to see what your body's made out of. Are you sharp? Have you been sharpening your sword? So you said something the other day about that, and I'm like, I don't remember none of this. And then it comes back to me. So, guys, the things that we've done together is crazy. You know, like, the things, and this is all through fighting, you know, all through training. You know, like, we're all good friends, but we're all training partners. We're all competitors in jiu-jitsu and MMA. So I make my guys do jiu-jitsu. You can't just do MMA. You can't just do kickboxing. You have to do both, right? Because I don't want my guys to be above average. I want them not to be the normal MMA guy that has very good striking and no jiu-jitsu, right? So we built our relationship very strong because we've all competed together. We hang out a lot at the gym, at tournaments. And so there's a lot of crazy stories. We'll say some of them, and we'll probably have to hide some of them so I don't get in trouble. But we're going to tell you guys a lot of it. And same thing, like Aaron's coming to the gym, you know, wanting to be a competitor, and look at us now. You know, when it comes to MMA, Jared, Aaron, and myself are there all the time. Like, we're the three guys that are left that have been together fighting MMA for a while at our gym. You know, and we're slowly building it. You know, there's new MMA fighters, there's kickboxers, there's jiu-jitsu guys. But MMA-wise, if there's somebody that comes in for MMA, like we have a guy we're working with now, I tell Jared, hey, Aaron, hey, get ready. They have to pay the initiation fee.
They got to pay the dues, dude.
They got to pay the dues up front. You know, we schedule it, and we're going to get into this part, but it's a lot of fun. So, Aaron, I'm glad I met you.
Dude, I'm glad I met you. This has been, like, a fantastic experience, like, for my life, really. Like, definitely, like, a life-changing experience that you really don't think about it until you, like, sit down and put it all into perspective. But, like, I had, like, a dream to become an MMA fighter, and I still do, but it's been warped, and it's been, like, enhanced, and I've, like, really gotten a really good perspective on, like what that means, and also what it means to be just a decent person too. Like, I wasn't like terrible, but I definitely have become better, like being at the gym and being around you guys, like in general. I don't know, there's something about like the mindset that comes with being a fighter, especially being one of our fighters, considering we push ourselves like a lot. We push each other constantly a lot.
Well, like, we always have this talk in MMA training camp, or when guys come in, I always tell them, like, part of being on my team, like, yeah, you got to be tough, and yeah, you got to train hard, but part of being on the team is you have to be a good person. I don't care how good of an MMA fighter you are. There's so many MMA guys that are trash human beings. They are pieces of crap, you know? And I'm not embarrassed to say that, because that's the truth. You know, they think they're men, they think they're macho, but they're not. They're little boys, you know? Yeah. So part of us being warriors or fighters, you have to be a good, strong man first. You know, that makes you a stronger man, a stronger warrior than the average MMA fighter. Because it's not just about taking your shirt off, walking into a cage and fighting. It's about who you are, because people are watching you. You know what I'm saying? It's about who you are and how you treat other people. Because when you train like a fighter, you train like a warrior, you're a what we call a BMF, right? You're a bad mofo, you know? And so how do you use that? How do you use the attention that people give you, the clout that you get from people, right? Do you kick other people down? Do you beat on new guys that come into the gym? Do you try to show them how strong you are? Or you use your strength to build them up? You know, and that's something that you have to have at our gym. If you can't have that in our gym, especially when it comes to us, you know, like Jared knows this in all of our classes. You know, I don't even have to give him the head nod no more. He knows how the system works, you know. Like, He sees something he doesn't like. I tell guys it all the time. It gets fixed.
It gets fixed quick.
King Kong comes in there, and we don't like how King Kong's acting. King Kong's getting fixed, you know? So that's part of training at our gym, you know? And I'm glad to hear that because you guys are good representatives of our gym and of our training program, too.
Dude, thanks.
So Giovanni's also been watching, and we're trying to drag him into the MMA as well.
Oh, yeah.
And
I think we can get Gio.
I gotta put my time more in jiu-jitsu.
Gio, what do you think about how far they've come so far?
It's very interesting because when I first started training, I got into it because of the UFC, right? You see, like I said this before, like you see Conor McGregor and you see the stars and you see the glamour and you want to be there, right? And you start shadow boxing in the kitchen and imagining you knocking people out. And then once I started training there and I started training Muay Thai and I started getting hit, you know, like my respect grew so much for you guys that done MMA. Like jiu-jitsu gives me jitters and I get nervous. I'm like, this is just grappling. At the end of the day, like it is conflict and it is combat, but it's not as extreme and as primal as MMA, right? So now knowing that, like seeing you guys, like, dang, these dudes, like they walk into a cage, you're locked in there, and you can't leave, right? You can climb out, but that's dishonorable.
Well, he can't leave. Dude can't leave either. I always think, like, they're definitely trapped in there with me most of the time. Like 90% of the time, they're stuck in there with me.
I love when Aaron fights because he always says something like that. Like, when you say you're locked in there, he's like, no, they're locked in with me. I'm not locked in with them. Like, they have to survive.
Yeah.
He gives the movie one-liners.
Right?
But seeing you guys do that, like on Russell Jared's fight, and just being in the back and the whole vibe, it's not something that it's not like the UFC presents it, like from the TV, you know, from the couch. You're watching it from your couch, from your comfort, and man, I'll knock this guy out. I'll throw that right hand, that left hand. But once you're back there and you see it, like, whoa, this is different. You know,
things happen fast.
It takes a lot.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of cojones to do that. You know. So I respect you guys tremendously for doing MMA. It's not easy.
Thanks, Gio.
Somebody was asking me the other day, I think it was in my interview, can you handle stress? Or what's the most stressful situation? What's the most stressful situation? And I was like, the first thing I jumped to, and it's the only thing I could think of really was have you ever been locked in a cage with somebody?
Right.
Like somebody that just wants to hurt you?
Yeah.
That's pretty stressful, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's another guy in there that can save you after you've already been hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's it. Like, that's a stressful situation.
100%. And I think the other thing is what Aaron said, and both these guys have a very strong mindset, right? And if you're going to be a successful competitor, if you're going to be a successful fighter, right, your mindset can't be normal. It's almost like, it's like, yo, you're crazy.
Yeah.
I tell people, like, yeah, we kind of are. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We probably missing a few screws, to be honest, right? But just the way Aaron said it, it's not like he's faking it, what he just said. He's not faking it, or he's not trying to put a face up for the camera. What he said is, no, this dude is locked in with me. And he always says this stuff, right? And it cracks me up every single time. It cracks me up every time. But it's second nature now. And that's because having the sharp sword up here, right? Because I would say in a fight, 95 to 99% is this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you want to say 95, the other 5%, which is a big deal, 5% is a lot, is your conditioning in your body. But this, dude, the things that go through your head leading up to a fight is unbelievable.
Man.
For me, whether I'm in the fight, like I get nervous in the fight, but for me, it's watching my guys fight or watching my team compete. I feel like God like gave me like kids that I don't know about. Like I look at these guys as my kids, right? My little brothers.
Same age.
And I'm terrified. Yeah, we're the same age, right?
We're the same.
But I'm terrified. Dude, I'm so scared, knotted up. I can't eat. I can't sleep for these guys. And I'm not the one getting in the cage. But like I care about these guys so much that I'm so freaking nervous, you know? But mentally, these guys are on another level going to the cage. And you have to be. You know, that's second nature for them because of all the talking we do about this. All of fight camp, we do our training. But every single training session, we have another training. And that's talking about the mind, you know, and how important it is to have the mind, a strong mindset. Like Aaron said, he has to climb out of the cage. Because one thing that we know is we were just talking about a few minutes ago is what? We're not stopping a fight.
Right.
there's no stopping. You know,
the
Aaron
fight will be stopped or it will end. Is how
exactly.
this is gonna go.
You know, and like on our behalf, like Aaron asked me, like, and he knows, and Jared answered it. Is like, if you get hurt, what is the answer? If your leg hurts,
If my leg hurts, I'll take it off and beat him.
Take it off and beat them with it.
you know, that's the same answer we get all the time. Like I tell these guys, that should be your mindset. If you get hurt, your leg, take it off and hit him in the head with it. Your arm, take it off, hit him in the head. You got another arm, and you got another leg. You know, that's the mindset that we train, and it's an extreme mindset, right? It is, but that's why you say the things that you say now when it comes to a fight. You don't think about, oh, I can just quit. There is no such thing as quitting.
No, I don't even process it. And well, Jared's talking about like stressors. For me, it's not actually the fight. It would be watching y'all's fights and the training sessions. I'm stressed about like the really difficult days, like on the way to the gym. I'm thinking like, can I do it? Am I really about this? And really like round 4 of some of the training sessions, I'm thinking like, is this me?
Dude,
Do I need to be here?
I think the first year that I trained at Border, man, we did Thursday sparring for a while because we couldn't open on Friday. I remember. Man, that was just a sparring class. I was like, God, I'm about to go in here with these killers. You and Drew. I was like,
And we're all
So
thinking, I think we all have the same thoughts in our mind. We're like, dang, dude, we got to go in here with these killers. These people are just so good.
That's the problem. Like, I tell people this all the time. Gio, put on all the cameras if you don't mind. But I tell guys all the time, like, fight camp, the worst thing, like, for me is watching you guys fight. I get nervous in my fights. I'm not going to act like I'm Iron Man, right? But watching you guys fight, but the training. Dude, my stomach is knotted up.
Yep.
I can't breathe good.
I can't breathe.
The nerves, because you know, like you said, round 4, like really, like in our training sessions, like round 4. We're not gonna say the exact number, guys. That's just private training strategy. But round 4, it's like you go into survival mode. Like when we have Jared, Aaron, Drew, and 6 or 10 other guys on us, right? By the time we get to round 4, we're just in survival mode.
Yeah, Gio was like, hey, when is it, at what point is it all heart? And I was like, maybe sometimes when you step in there in the beginning.
Sometimes before you walk into the gym.
It's all heart for me to drive down here, to be honest with you.
Dude, just getting to the gym and like in a fight camp is like, gosh, like if you make it to the gym, you've won already.
I think so.
You know what I'm saying?
It's at least 50% of the battle.
Dude.
Because once you get done with the training session, especially because we train 5 days a week now, like Thursday, you're done with like the MMA session only. And we're like, see you tomorrow for sparring. See you tomorrow. My coach will look at you. He'll look you in the eyes. See you tomorrow for sparring. Or I'll get up, walking out. He'll be looking at me like, I need you strong for tomorrow. It's like, I need me strong for tomorrow.
yeah, for sure. I'll wake up in the morning. Yeah.
y'all get up. It'll be fine.
Dude, I know this happened to all of us, but have you woken up like the days of especially like sparring days, MMA or striking days, and it's like, dang, I gotta spar tonight.
Yeah. Dang, I gotta spar tonight.
And it's like, you can't, like you get to round 4 and you can't breathe.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like you really can't breathe because you're having a fresh guy on you every round. If you fight the same guys for 4 rounds, you learn how to coast. But when you have a fresh guy, it gets easier because he's fatiguing with you.
They're probably not running. You know,
Exactly.
You're training way harder than everybody else.
Exactly, you know? And so you're in shape. They're not running. So you can make it 4 rounds with the same guy. But when you have a fresh guy on you every single round, it's like, dang it, man. And they come at you like a jackrabbit.
Every time.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Every time they're trying to take your head off.
you know?
Training with Donovan.
Oh,
and
my
I'm
God.
like,
Don't talk about
buddy.
it.
Buddy. That was a fight every day just to get to the gym.
Dude, I remember back in the day when he was getting ready for a fight, I was getting ready we were fighting on the same card. Okay, and we talked about it when he was on the podcast. And I had to train with this guy. And Donovan is one of those guys that you don't think knows how to fight. Okay, let me tell you. He hits you with the left hand. Just, your family needs to prepare the grave. They need to do your funeral preparations. Like I'm being honest with you. And that was when he fought at 155, and he was cutting 20, 30 pounds.
He used to fight 55.
Yes, he almost died in a sauna. I was there, you know. But now he's 220. I think he told me today. I saw him today at work, and Like, bro, if you get hit by a 220 Donovan, I'm dead serious. They're going to have to put you on a machine.
Yeah.
Life support. I'm not joking.
Oh, it's gonna go left leg, left hand, left leg.
Dude, that's it.
leg.
That's it. Like, people think I'm exaggerating. When you think I'm exaggerating, come sparring.
When you see Donovan, I can see you being fooled. I had only done jiu-jitsu with him, so I didn't know about his his
the
technique.
funny part.
Yeah, I'd only done jiu-jitsu. I got there with sparring day. He's like, "Let's go, Bubba." He gets in the cage.
Well, that's the thing. Like, how you doing, Bubba? You know, and he's smiling, and had the way he talks, and he's so friendly, and he gives you a hug, and like, this guy can't fight.
Yeah, and he'll let you take a couple. He'll let you take a couple shots at him. Like
He'll hit you.
He'll let you hit him.
Starts every round that way.
He lets you hit him, and he's like smiling at you, and he starts like doing this with his head, and he starts leaning away like this, and then you hit him with a good one. The second you land a good punch on him, just throw your gloves off. I'll tell you right now. If you land a good punch on Donovan, just stop.
You stop now.
I don't care if you're brand new.
Yeah, like
I'm like, Donovan, let us get the money first. Let us sign him up first.
Absolutely not.
But I remember getting ready for him, dude, with him. And those days I didn't want to train. I did not want to train. You know, like those days hurt.
Yeah.
And I'm a small guy. I fight at 135. Now Aaron is 125 and Jerry's at 145. So we knew all three of us are kind of in the same thing. But when it comes to fighting, dude, one weight class is a big deal.
Yeah.
People think it's not like you in the training, you can handle it. It's good to train with one weight class above you, sometimes two weight class above you for training purposes. But to train with somebody 2-3 weight classes above you,
It's dangerous.
Oh yeah.
bro.
I got kicked by him once, and I was like, "Oh,
Dude, he hit me once. You know the meme I sent you guys today?
yeah."
Dude got kicked in the head and his head flew off.
yeah.
He tried to put glasses on, his head wasn't there. Donovan hit me once. I mean, he hit me more than once.
Oh.
There was one day I remember he hit me, and I was like, okay, he's not hitting me again. that was the day that was the deciding factor that day. He hit me so hard, dude. It's like my brain shut off and turned back on. You know how your laptop lags? That literally happened. Like I shut off and came back on. Okay, that's not happening again.
I can't let him play.
He did that to me in that last MMA camp. You made him spar orthodox. You know, you were like, give Jared a good look or spar orthodox this round. And he never spars orthodox, right? So I was like, I was touching him up like a lot. I wasn't hitting him hard because like I knew.
You got a good one though.
Man.
He switched southpaw.
He went. He just went back southpaw, and the first thing he 1, 2, 3 and hit me with that lead 3, and I went, "Am I a fighter? Do I do this?" Man, I was like, does he know I'm fighting like next weekend? Like,
Oh, I love that. Jared's like, chill out. I got to fight next weekend. You have a fight now, brother.
right?
Fight now.
I
You
was a
fight
wrestler.
tonight, brother.
I was a wrestler real quick.
I remember I had a talk with him. I'm like, bro, he's fighting. He's like, he started hitting me. I was like, screw this, Bubba. He switched southpaw. I'm like, here we go. Here we go. And I tell them all the time. I'm like, bro, you guys I learned this the hard way. Okay? Literally the hard way. So I tell them all the time, like, guys, think of your head, your brain as a computer. When your iPhone messes up or your Mac messes up, you go to Apple, they repair it, or they give you a new one. With your brain, there's no such thing as that. We can't go to the Apple store and they fix this, right?
Yeah.
And Jared and Nate Milliken, the guy that sets up this podcast, or Nate and Donovan, or Jared and Donovan, they get into this mode where like, all right, and we do this. Every fighter does this, right? I'll do it every now and then when I have like a stressful week. I'm all right, hit me in the head. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? For some reason, that makes me happy, right? That gets me excited.
It does give you the
You know, like, all right, it's like stress reliever. Just hit me in my head. Because when you get hit in the head, you go into another zone, right? It's like, all right, now we're fighting.
Yeah.
You know? But they do this at least one round every training session. At least one. You know? And I tell them all the time, I'm like, bro, you guys are not going to last. Like, stop. Stop. Like, I'm getting excited. I'm like, yeah, kill each other. But at the same time, I'm like, stop. Chill out. You know?
chill out.
You know? And when I first started fighting, it was just me at the gym. And it was Border, and it was 2 other guys. It was Border, it was another guy, a bigger guy who was probably 200 pounds. He was like a boxer. He was a good boxer. He did Muay Thai, but he had very good hands, and he had a very strong overhand right. And then there was another guy that was an MMA fighter, and he was one weight class above me back then probably. But I didn't know nothing. I was new, right? I was 18. I had some training, but I had like a 2-year layoff, right? And these guys were fighting, which is a big difference.
Yep.
I messed up. I told Buddha I want to fight. And just like you said, like, do I really want to fight? Like when you're in the middle of sparring and you get hit, like, do I really want to fight? Like,
Do I need to be doing this?
it's you like you're protecting yourself. You're on the ropes. Like, do I really want this moment? You know. And every day, I tell people like, it was not training. They beat the hell out of me. All through, and I didn't get a break. That was the thing. I did not get a break.
Oh, these are just rounds.
It was 1 hour. It was round after round after round. I had 1 hour of mid session before that.
And then they abused you for an hour?
I had 1 hour of mid session with border. Get on them pads with border.
Yeah.
Get on the pads with border. If you survive a pad session with border, hey, you got my respect. A fight camp round session for 1 hour with border, you have my respect. You know, if you don't believe me, come to my gym. I'll tell border, hey, give him a 1 hour round session of fight camp training, and you have my respect if you make it. Hey, I don't drink water in my training sessions. I don't take breaks in my training sessions. It's 1 hour strictly training. Then I start sparring, no breaks. And it's one guy after the next, one guy after the next, one guy after the next. And it took me a few years to learn this, right? But I have a stutter right now. I think that stutter is from that training session. Those training sessions, it was 3 months of that.
Yeah.
I would go home. I would go straight to work, actually. I didn't even shower. People were like, damn, this dude's nasty. I was grinding back then. I was hustling. I didn't care about nothing, right? I literally left the gym, went straight to work. And I had a Somali, he's been with me a long time. I'll tell him, hey, watch the store. I'll go straight to the back room, lay straight on the floor. I had no pillow, nothing. Pass out for like 3 or 4 hours.
It was rough, bro. You were living in the trenches back then.
Dude, every training session, that's what it was. It was 1 hour striking, 1 hour sparring. Sheesh. And I had headaches the whole day. It wasn't training, like I said. They beat the snot out of me.
You got tunnel vision a lot.
I got tunnel vision a lot.
Yeah. That was a concussion, brother.
Dude, I'm sure I had one every day.
Yeah.
Like, it's not healthy. I know it's not. But I remember those days, and you want to be a fighter, right? I thought I wanted to. I mean, I wanted to. Obviously, I made it. I got ready for my fight. But I remember those days. I never forget them. I was 18 years old. So that's why these days I'm like, dude, you can't fight. And you see a lot of MMA fighters. You see a lot of MMA fighters trained that way. Mm-hmm. You can't have a lot of those. If you want to do it once a week, few rounds, that's fine. But to do it 3 or 4 times a week, this is what you'll see. Those guys that do that, you'll see they have a good record starting off. 3-4 fights, 3-0, 4-0, 3-1, 4-1, 5-2, 5-1, 5-0, you know, for the first year, because they fight a lot the first year. Bam, 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 bam. Year number 2, 3, and 4, look at the record. Mm-hmm. It switches.
Yeah.
7-12.
You know, 7-12, 7-15. You know, 5, that might be the last, the 5-0 is probably the last win. 5-8, 5-9. You know, it's because of those training sessions. Your body cannot hold that.
Yeah, you can't have too many gym wars, like especially coming up early in your career. Because what I have observed from watching other professionals is that it seems to be gym mileage that really is what you're counting on, not just your actual age. 'Cause you can start kind of late, depending on the weight class.
Especially heavyweight. That's why I'm trying to move up.
Especially heavyweight.
I'm at the point where I'm like, man, screw cutting to 135. I'm not going to lie to you.
We're putting on weight. We're going to 205.
Dude,
I'll see y'all at welterweight, dude.
if I fight at 145, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll be fine at 145. But the weight also kills you, too, if you cut too much. I remember the last one, forgetting names, phone numbers, everything.
That's too much, bro.
Dude, I'm telling you, I was laying in the tub like...
Is this for 135 for your last championship?
135, yeah. The last one wasn't bad. The one before was.
Okay.
Yeah, the last one
You
came
didn't
out.
get to fight.
The one I didn't get to fight.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I didn't get to fight that time. That guy got sick. And
He had a bad weight cut, too.
He did, yeah.
But you made yours. So,
I made my way, yeah.
so you technically won the fight.
Nah. But, so training in the gym, okay, those gym wars and cutting weight, which a lot of new fighters do, that ruins your career. That kills your career. And that's something that we always talk about, right? Is you have to be disciplined. You mentally have to be sharp, because when you go into 2 months of eating clean, you're fatigued, your body's malnourished, and you still got to eat clean and be in the calorie deficit, that's when your mind starts playing games on you.
Yeah.
Because you have to still go in and train.
Oh, yeah.
You still have to go on your run, and you can't eat cheeseburgers, you can't eat ice cream, you can't eat sodas, you can't eat candy.
I can't even eat more of the food that I'm supposed to be eating.
You can't even eat more of the good food you're supposed to be eating.
Yeah.
You know?
Every time you run, you're like, give me some bread.
Dude.
I crave bread
Bread
so bad
is-
when I'm
dude.
running.
Bread.
Can't do it.
Bread is like the biggest carbs just in general, man.
Yeah. Any
But
bread,
hot
any
bread,
pasta.
and as much rice as you want, you know I'm A-Rab, baby. Like, we eating rice or everything.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So if I don't get rice, there's something going on.
Yeah.
You know? But that's why, like, when you see fighters like you guys, competitors, you know, even Gio just did 8 competitions this year. You know? It's like the discipline, not just physically, mentally, is a different level. You know? And that's why, like, you see these guys, and you see a lot of guys that are become successful MMA fighters in business and stuff, or other aspects of their life, because how mentally sharp they've become. Because just like you said, what's the most stressful thing you've done when they ask you that in the department?
Yeah. You get locked in the cage.
You get locked in the cage. It doesn't get worse than that.
Go to a Friday competition class. You're asking me what I'm doing.
Friday competition class is pretty tough too.
How easy do you guys find like real life stuff? Thinking about that, like since you've been a fighter, because I don't remember the last like. There have been things like in life general that have come up, but like I feel pretty chill about things that most people I think would probably freak out about. And I just kind of coast through a lot of like day-to-day life things.
Bro, jiu-jitsu and MMA, I tell people sometimes I think I'm not human.
Sometimes.
That's serious. Sometimes I think I'm not human. Like, I have to sit and talk to myself like, is this normal the way I'm thinking? Or this is normal that I don't feel this or that, right? Because, and I told Gio this. I told a lot of guys this. These guys have been talking to me. I'm like, look, if you don't believe me, come do 8 weeks of fight camp with me. I'm not going to sit here and try to convince you on the podcast. If you don't believe me, shoot me a message and come to the gym. That's it. I'm not calling you out. I'm just letting you know. Just come to the gym for 8 week fight camp. You know? And so, what is going to be stressful in my life? Or what is stressful things in your life that you see? You know? I'll tell you this. My third fight, okay? My uncle had cancer. God rest his soul. He passed away. And this was probably one of the hardest things that happened to me. And 5 days before my fight, he passed away.
Dang.
Before my third fight, he passed away. And it was messages left and right. Everybody was asking me. Because I missed a few training sessions 2 weeks before fight camp, before the fight. And you guys know there's no skipping, especially
That close.
the last 3 or 4 weeks. There's no skipping. I don't care what it takes, you have to be there. But that second week, it was probably a Saturday or Sunday. No, I think he passed away on a Monday maybe. But, no, Sunday, I think. I forgot. Anyway, he was getting bad. And so we started going, seeing him more. And I skipped sessions because of that. And the board texted me like, hey, you all right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. You know, I'm just dealing with this. And then I told him, I said, look, I promise last week I'll be there. And he said, are you still in this? And my mindset was, who am I going to be if my uncle died on his bed from cancer and he fought to the very last second? He did not say, ouch, one time. Through all the chemo, he didn't show no sense of pain in front of nobody. My uncle was a very prideful guy. He didn't show any sense of pain in front of anybody. Doesn't matter who walked in. If there was somebody in the room with him, he didn't show nothing. And I was like, who is it for me to be healthy, to be young, to be strong, and I can't make it to my fight? You know what I'm saying? What is that going to say? And I went and fought. You know, that Saturday, I went and fought. It was the toughest thing. Everybody in the back room was nervous for me because I wasn't normal in the back room. Yeah. I kept pacing. Usually I'm just laying down the whole time. I don't move. I don't talk to nobody. I usually just lay down until an hour before the fight. But this time, the second I got there to the second I walked out, I was on my feet. And I was pacing. because so many stuff were going through my head, right? But I remember I finished the dude in the second round, and I dedicated that fight to my uncle. You know, but that was probably the hardest thing for me. You know, and some of the Palestine stuff happened before some of my fights, the politics in Palestine and the war stuff, and that's hard, but I always think about how hard it is for the other side. What excuse do I have being young and strong? And that's because of all of the training that you go through. You know, what are some things that people go through? A divorce, a breakup, you know, which all that stuff is hard. Don't get me wrong. That stuff is hard, right? Financial difficulties, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is. And I'm not kicking it down. Some people struggle with certain things another way, harder than others, right? But when you go through a fight camp, dude,
There's like nothing else.
dude, what is going to scare you?
Yeah.
What else is going to stress you out? Our fight camps are crazy. Like, I can't say anything else. Like, I am afraid to come in. I'm stressed out to come in and train to you guys. And you guys are bouncing around. I'm like, damn it, here we go. You know? So, for me, is I really don't, like, yeah, things in business stress me out, but nothing like a fight camp. You know, so I think I have a mental edge on a lot of people because of fight camp.
I'd say the exact same thing. Like, so many things I don't know. Like, they don't faze me and I don't think about it. Or if they do faze me, I don't show it and I don't I don't let it stop me from doing what it is. Mm-hmm. Like, someone yesterday asked me, they were like, hey, I think there's a bunch of spiders in these boxes over here. Mm-hmm. Like, can you come and help me with the spiders? They're like, MMA fighters aren't afraid of anything. And I get in there and I'm like, I have a severe arachnophobia. I'm actually extremely afraid of spiders. But I still help them move these boxes because, well, someone's got to do it, basically. Like, someone's got to do this thing. That's how I feel about fight camp. That's how
Somebody's
I feel.
got to carry the boats.
Yeah, someone's got to carry those boats. Don't, it's
the
trademark.
logs.
I think that's trademark. That's not trademark, right? Okay. We don't want to
that
get
out.
You can say it,
demonetized.
What they going to do about it?
Lock them in a cage.
Put Goggins in. Get me in there with Goggins, okay?
That's crazy though. But can you describe, like you guys describe, like mentally, what is a fight camp like, right? Because I know you said, and Mo said, MMA is 95% mental and 5% body. And then like I said, like a reference, like a lot of guys, young guys, they'll come to the academy and they say that they want to fight, right? Like, again, because it's a cute idea, like, hey, you're shadow boxing in the living room and you're knocking people out and then you're getting the UFC strap wrapped around you, right? And that's cool. But you never envision, like, the cutting weight, the actually throwing down with, like, Donovan, with all the other fresh guys. Like, mentally, what is a fight camp like? And why is it that so few people can, like, survive a fight camp?
I think Jared and Mo, since you guys have been through more than I have.
So obviously the first thing about fight camp, right, is you're gonna be busting your ass. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna be running at least 3 miles, at least 3 days a week, right? And you're gonna be in the gym training, for a few hours every single day, right? You've got a few sparring, hard sparring. I mean, it's not a cakewalk when you go in there to spar, MMA sparring, or even if it's just a striking day or just a wrestling day or whatever. You know, you've got tough training for more than an hour every single day. You know what I mean? Like, you get home from work, or you don't even get home from work, right? You go work your job. I mean, and it's true. It's like, especially with that Fury, like when we had Fury in the gym for that fight camp. Excuse me. You know, I would get off work. I would go straight to the gym, basically. You know what I mean? You have to do jiu-jitsu class. You have to do Muay Thai class. You have to dedicate certain days to MMA training, to wrestling, right? And then with, like, him, you know, it was like we stayed. There was at least 2 or 3 times where we were in there till 10:30 wrestling after all that stuff. But yeah, I guess a lot of people don't understand that about fight camp, is you're going to be in there just sort of balls to the wall, you know, every time you go in there. You know what I mean?
8 weeks.
8 weeks.
Minimum.
Yeah.
And how exhausted do you feel? Like, at what point, like, obviously you start off the first week, right? What week are you in there feeling like?
What day?
What day?
What day?
Are you like, dang, this is difficult?
Right. So like I'd say the first 3 weeks for everybody in general, like sometimes if you got like 2 or 3 fight camps a year, you know what I mean? Like it's just the first 2 weeks for you. But the first like 3 weeks for most people is just a breakdown. You know what I mean? You get in there the first week and it kills you. You know what I mean? Excuse me, because you're kind of none of us ever really just come off the couch and jump into a fight camp, right? No. We're training year round. You know what I mean? But you jump into that extra bit of training, like that first week just really breaks you down. That second week, you know what I mean? It's even worse. You didn't think you could be more worn out. I don't want to say the T word, so I'm not going to say it.
Doesn't matter.
Right. Honestly, you're sitting there like, I couldn't be more worn out. I couldn't be more tired than I am right now. By the end of that third week, you know what I mean? You're like, ouch. You get, that's it. It's just ouch, right?
Dude.
Saturday, Sunday, you got your rest. Monday is that fourth week, right? That's when it picks up even more, but somehow your body is recovered enough to where from then on, you're better than you were at the end of your last fight camp. You know what I mean? At least that's the way it feels for me. Mm-hmm. 3 weeks of breakdown, and then the other 5+ weeks of
surviving.
For me, yeah, it's surviving, but it's like I would murder the guy I was at the end of the last fight camp.
Oh yeah,
you know
100%.
what I mean? It's just it's.
That's crazy. What about for you, Aaron? What is
It's the middle. Mentally, the first 2 weeks, it is the breakdown, but it's a breakdown where like I'm thinking about at the end of this, I'm gonna get to fight, and then like the rest of the time, with the exception of up to the very last week of fight camp, I'm thinking I need to make it to the next training session. Like I'm not mentally preparing myself to make it to the end of the fight. I'm mentally preparing myself to make it to the end of the week. Like at Friday, I know Friday is sparring day. If I can make it there, I will have done this for another week, and then I can keep using that momentum until I get to the last week. And then once I'm at the last week, I'm like, all right, now, like I don't know, I don't feel anything. I'm like, I get to fight now.
Yeah.
Like this is it. Like we're here now.
Yeah. See, for me, just like Jared said, when you first get the news that you're fighting, like, all right, I guess it just got serious, and you get this feeling in your stomach. Right away, you get this feeling in your stomach like, all right, this is real.
Oh, it's real.
You know what I'm saying? And then you officially get the boys together, and you're like, all right. And everybody's scratching their heads like, all right, camp's starting. And we all know how it is. Like
We look just like that, too.
this is exactly how we look. We're all thinking it, but we're not saying it. And we're all like, yeah, we're ready. You know? We're all ready. If you don't fight, even if you don't fight, if you're not the one fighting, by the time you're done with our camp, you're ready to fight. That's how we train.
Yeah.
Even if you're not the one fighting, just the guy helping, by the time you go through 8 weeks, even if you came off the couch, for example, you're ready to fight. By the end of those 8, and you weren't going every round.
Yeah, and that's without the running. Like let's say
Let's
say you're just there helping.
Participating. Mm-hmm. You know, for us it's different. We're in the gym every single day, whether we're fighting or not. We are in the gym every day training. But for me, like week 3, because the first 2-3 weeks is exciting. You have a lot of confidence. You have a lot of motivation because like it's a fight. I gotta get ready. But there's a point of realization that comes in like week 3, week 4, and I'm like, oh shit, I got 4 or 5 weeks left of this. It just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, out of nowhere, it hits you. You're like, man, dude, I got to get up and go to training tomorrow.
Bro, it's usually like after MMA sparring or Muay Thai sparring, you realize we always do this. Like, all right, the fight's happening. We're giving us mental mindset speech. And then the fight is, and then you're like, oh, I got 4 or 5 weeks of this left.
Yeah. Okay, if you go from this Saturday, oh, it's 5 weeks.
That's exactly what happens to us, you know? And for me, it's like a realization like, dude, I got 5 weeks of this. Like, this is not 5 days, you know? So for me, it turns into, because we don't have the luxury right now to just train. Yeah. All of us are working.
Yep.
Some of these guys don't have to train to work, you know? We're in the gym. We're at work. We're doing all of this stuff. And then we have to train at night, you know? And so for me, week 4, it comes into like survival mode for me.
Yeah,
I quit counting the days. I start doing it one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, all right, let me make it to this day. I only think about Monday, okay? Jiu-jitsu and striking, you know? Next day, then sparring day. And then let me focus on the sparring, you know? Okay, let me focus on striking. And it turns into that. You know, by the time, to answer your question, Gio, that's the worst part, is just training.
Yeah.
And week like 5, 6, 7, you're like, man, just let me get in the cage at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Just let me go. Like, can I please just fight? Because you know you're going to be done with this.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Especially at the end of a good sparring night.
Oh, yeah.
You think that. You're like, let's go right now.
Here, let me fight right now, you know? So at the end of camp, you start saying, like, man, I just let me fight at this point. I just want to eat, and I just want to fight. That's it. I don't care about nothing else. And so when you get to the fight, and we always say to each other, what's going to happen to us? We know the chance of getting knocked out is there. We know the chance of getting submitted is there. But this dude is not going to just walk all over you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Especially after an 8-week fight camp with us, right? So it's like, what are you going to be afraid of? What are you nervous for? You just had 10 gorillas on you for 8 weeks. You know what I mean? And so
A fresh gorilla every round.
Yeah.
every round, a fresh gorilla every single round.
And that's what always helps me through fight camp. I always, at a certain point, like, y'all, I'm like, and it's not, sometimes it's the fight camp, sometimes it's like, who am I fighting? You know what I mean? It's like, is this guy like the next Conor McGregor? You know what I mean? Is he the next superstar that's just going to wash every amateur, wash every pro or something? Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, one, probably not, just because it's a local guy or whatever. 2, he does not compare to the guys that I'm training with. I don't care who he is. Like, he's not a Donovan. He's not a Mo. He's not an Aaron. You know what I mean? He doesn't have what y'all have. I'm like, and I'm at the very least surviving in here with y'all. I'm like, yeah, this guy's not gonna have anything for me. And that's something you say a lot. You know what I mean? This guy's not gonna have anything for you, and it's true. Mm-hmm. They rarely do they. You know?
Yeah, I try to remind you. I try to remind you guys every single fight about that, right? And there's a lot of good gyms. There's a lot of good coaches locally in the area. I know a lot of them. They're all good, right? There's a lot of good fighters in the area, okay? But when it comes to fighting, to training for a fight, there's a standard that we have. This is plain and simple. If you want to fight with us, you want to fight and carry our banner, there's a certain standard you have. If you meet the standard, you're ready to fight, okay? And if you don't meet the standard, you don't get to fight. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
If you just want to be an MMA fighter and half train, there's so many gyms around us, I'll tell you to go train with them. But if you want to fight at our gym, you have to go through the way we do it. We don't break the standard for nobody. And it's because of what you just said. It's because when I tell you, hey, you're ready for a fight, I'm not telling you to just fill your head up and try to get you just to the fight. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to tell you that on Saturday night, it doesn't matter who walks in front of you, what is the answer?
Yeah, they ain't gonna have nothing for you.
They ain't have nothing for you.
Nothing for you. Dude.
Even if who gets in the cage with you?
King Kong.
King Kong. You know what I'm saying?
King Kong can make 125.
You know, it doesn't matter who gets in the cage. So I'll tell you guys this every fight is because of the way you guys train. You know, and there's a certain requirement if you want to train. If you want to fight, you have to train. And there's those dues that you have to pay up front. You remember yours, Aaron?
Oh, I remember mine vividly. It was it was close to a last minute fight. It was a shorter-ish training camp, and it was you and Drew. And that was about, we get to like maybe round 4 or 5 or 6 where I was exhausted, let's just say. My legs were weaker than they were when we started. And Mo comes at me, and he hits me with these body shots. He was like, I was saving these. He threw about 2 or 3 of them. I almost went down. He was like, are you done? Are you going to quit? And I'm like, well, I can't give up. Like, I've come to this many rounds. I cannot give up. And we like finished out the session. It was actually one of the worst days of my life until the aftermath of it, where I changed my perspective on like myself and like training. Cause I was like, well, I actually made it through that. And I had heard about other people who had been through it, who didn't make it through. They said they quit, and I was like, quitting was an option. I didn't know that you. I didn't know that you could opt out of the entire process.
I didn't know I could leave the cage.
Yeah, I didn't know I could leave. I didn't know I could leave the cage.
Thought that was a padlock
Yeah,
outside.
because when Mo asks you that question, like, whatever, like, there's actually something you say pretty regularly, like in just normal training. You're like, do you want to fight? Mm-hmm. And it's always in the back of my mind, like, yes, I do want to fight, but like, it's not enough for me to say, yes, I want to fight. Like, I need to show you that I want to fight. So I need to run those extra miles. I need to push harder, basically. I need to do what I'm supposed to be doing. So that's, like, how my dues went. That was when Drew was here, too.
Yeah.
So, and Drew was big, too, I think, at the time.
He's a big boy.
He was a big boy at the time.
Big old.
Big old boy.
Yeah.
Big old boy.
I didn't... But I don't know. I was like, the level of confidence I had like immediately after like the next day was unprecedented. I thought I was like, I can probably make it through anything. Like it's not gonna be that. I'll tell you that much.
That's crazy. But I want to ask you guys. So you hear this fight camp, right? Obviously it's tough, right? Somebody got to carry the boats and logs, and it takes a lot of heart and grit, right? I can see that just from seeing you guys, right? Not me being in it, and but what motivates you guys to fight? What makes you go through that pain? You know, like why would you go through that suck and go through all that, like looking deep dive in yourself, like, do I really want to do this, or why am I doing this when I'm getting hit in the head and my body feels exhausted? Like, what motivates you guys to fight?
Why are we doing this, boys?
There's an answer, but man, it's a crazy answer.
Yeah.
I mean, let's put it this way, okay? What else? First of all, you get to fight and not get in trouble. First of all,
That's a big one.
you know what I'm saying? I get to hit somebody and get hit and not go to jail for it. Okay, for whatever reason, we like that. Okay, whatever the reason
like
is,
that.
you know. But you know, sometimes I like to think like I was a samurai back in the day, and this is my way of fighting as a samurai, right? As a warrior, this is my way of doing it. But fighting is so freaking fun, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like, fighting, the act of fighting somebody, the act of, like, going into survival mode, the act of getting locked in the cage, you know, the act of, the idea of what if this, what if that, and just the idea that it doesn't get more primal than, hey, I'm getting there with another man.
Yeah.
And let's see who wins.
It's
You know,
like the most controlled, immediate danger you can put yourself in.
Exactly. And the adrenaline that you're going to get from it is you're not going to get it nowhere else. And so men are supposed to fight. That's in our DNA. At the end of the day, that's our primal instinct is to fight. It's our DNA. Over the years, it's gotten washed away. And now we got, I want to say women. We got boys, right? We got little kids. They're not men. They're not warriors. So it's in our DNA. And so some of it, because of the times that we live in, the days that we live in, a lot of it gets covered up. And so you lose that primal instinct. You lose that primal instinct because you got a roof. You got food. When I want food, I don't have to go kill a deer. Mm-hmm. Although I do it now, but you don't have to go kill a deer. You go to Kroger. Or you just go to the Taco Bell drive-thru.
I got AC, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
AC.
You have
That's the big
AC.
one. I have a car.
You have heat. You have a car. You don't have to ride a horse or walk across the woods in the dark. Have you walked across the woods in the dark, bro?
Never. I haven't.
Some people are going to sit here and laugh at me. Go out there and walk in the woods in the dark. That ain't no joke.
Oh, bud.
In unknown territory, you hear something and you're like, hold up.
Man, when you know it's 30 minutes before sunrise, but it's still dark, and you know there's a family of hogs right there, bro.
Listen, forget the family of hogs. If I know it's just the hogs, I'm cool with it. But what if there's a human being out there?
Yeah.
Man, what if there's another me out there?
You know what I'm saying? There's another me.
There won't be another me.
There's another me walking around out there.
But like back in the day, they did all of this. So like the good chance of getting attacked by a bear or something is in the woods, or another stranger trying to take their food or their family's items because they need to survive. And so fighting was a normal thing. Okay, but now we live in easy times, so all that gets covered up. So your primal instinct gets washed away. Okay, it's covered up. You have to dig very, very deep and go through very hard times, okay? And then it'll be uncovered. Some guys are very gritty. Some guys are very good fighters because they grew up with the hard life. Who do you see some of the best fighters are? guys that have had deaths in their family at a young age. Some of the guys that were the poorest growing up, those are the best fighters, right? Because it was a fight living. Just to live, to survive, it was a fight. And so getting in the cage with another man,
It's nothing.
that's nothing, you know? And so you got that aspect of it that a lot of us just like that feeling. And the crazy thing is, like, me and Coach Board were talking about this, like, I want to fight again, right? We all were talking about fighting this coming year. But if you get in the cage one time, man, you get the taste of the W, the win, you will never forget that taste. And I remember that taste of it every single day.
I had a guy tell me that. I had an MMA fighter tell me, he was like, once you like get your hand raised, he's like, that's like the most addicting feeling. And I didn't understand until I got my hand raised.
And I tell guys that all the time. I'm like, get in the cage, and if you win, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
It's going to be a problem. And I feel like I try not to think that far in the future because I haven't fought in a year and a half. But I hope I can stop when my kids are old enough. Right? Because I'm like, I'm going to be 40 years old. I'm like, give me one more fight.
Man. Give me one more.
I'm going to be 45. Give me one more. You know, but that's why I got jiu-jitsu. I'm going to use jiu-jitsu, hopefully. But it's like, I'm getting the itch very bad right now.
Gotta hit somebody.
I got to hit somebody. I got to get hit in the head. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thing on it.
I could segue off that. I'd say all of those things and like the affirmation of my, like I'm always asking myself like, do I have that thing? Like whatever, like the thing, like if in a real life scenario, if I was tested in any kind of scenario, like it doesn't have to be like a self-defense type scenario or anything serious that happens. Like, do I have it in me to make it through? And I think I do because I've been tested in training camp, but also in competition. Like I've been put in a situation where I want something and someone else is attempting to forcefully take it from me and I have to stop them or I have to impose my will or I have to prove like, am I enough for this thing in the moment? And that's like a question that I keep asking myself and it keeps getting answered every single time I win. So that's why I like to fight. And I think I'm the greatest. But
That's right.
for a different podcast.
You are the greatest.
Yeah, it's so much fun, dude. You ever kick somebody in the leg, Gio? Man,
Yeah.
it does something
It's
to you. Like
fantastic.
a good one? Like a good one you land?
Such a good one.
I told you, y'all missing. We're missing some screws.
It's just so nice.
But being a fighter, man, it's very rewarding, but it's a lot of sacrificing. You know, Jared, you have a wife and kids, so I'm not gonna sit here and say it's hard on us. It is hard on us, but it's harder when you have a wife and kids.
Yeah.
You know, like because you have to give them your time. You know, we've talked about that plenty of times. You know, making sure, hey, you get your training in, but don't forget that you have family at home. You know, but that's the life of a fighter. You know, the aspect that you just said too, Aaron, is like you always want to stay sharp, you know, because I always say it every time, like you don't know when somebody's coming to get your lunch money.
No.
You know, and if you're a fighter, then you're already kind of ahead of the game a little bit, you know, because you've trained at a level that not the average Joe is going to train at, you know. And we see those guys, they come into the gym every time, you know, they come into the gym every single time, you know. And Jared's running the Muay Thai program now, but it's like we lock eyes and it's like
You just know.
Exactly.
You know.
and they're like, all right, I got you.
Like everyone thinks they can fight and then they take that first leg kick. That's what I tell people like in real life. Like if you're talking about like viable self-defense techniques and things, I can kick you in the leg and change your life. Like everything about what you think about fighting will become different if I kick you in the leg one time.
I tell you what a lot of people don't realize too is when they walk in the gym for the first time or they go into sparring for the first time and they had just told Gio when they were signing up, I want to be an MMA fighter. Or they tell one of us, I want to be an MMA fighter. I want to fight in some capacity. And then they get hit in the face for the first time. Man, that changes their whole life. They're like, wow, it's like that.
It's like that.
It's like that though.
Dude, we had a guy come in. There's a buff college dude. And Nate Milliken was still training in the morning classes. And for whatever reason, I had something going on to get to spar that morning. And this kid, his first day, kept asking me, hey, when am I going to get in there and spar? I'm like, your time's going to come, buddy. You know, he was a young kid. He's full of piss and vinegar, obviously. And then one day I walked in, and I look over, and it was his turn to go with Nate Milliken. And Nate hits like a semi-truck, okay? He hits like a semi-truck. He hit me before, and I'm like, okay, you're not touching me again either. You know, he's hit me a few times. All right, I'm 150 pounds, buddy. Come on. Do I want to fight, coach?
Pop the trunk on your ass.
You know, I tell the guys, like, coach, I told him, Nate keeps making fun of me because the last Muay Thai fights, kickboxing fights, I said, if you guys cry, you can't fight, you know? And then he keeps saying, like, coach said I can't cry or I can't fight, you know? And when he hit me, that's all I was thinking, like, I can't cry, coach. But he got paired up with this young kid. I mean, college dude was jacked.
Oh.
Yeah, he was
He's
jacked.
in trouble.
And he hit Nate. He hit Nate. You know what I'm saying? No, I was thinking, like, here, we lost a member.
We lost a member.
Nate says, we all do the head nod, right? Like, you get hit, you're like, oh, okay, nice.
It's like that.
It's like that, exactly. He got hit, and I just see the right hand load up. Boom. Flush. Kid takes the headgear off, and like, I need a minute. Give me an example. Time out. That was the last day I saw him.
We'll never see
Walk straight out the gym.
Mo looks at people, dude. He's like, we'll never see him again.
Dude, how many times has it happened?
It's like countless times. Like, you got to stop looking at people and taking them seriously when they say, hey, I want to fight. I come over to Jared. I'm like, hey, this person wants to fight. Jared's like, okay.
Sure.
He's like, yeah, sure. I'll see him on Friday, I guess.
I'll see you on one Friday.
Yeah, I'll see you on one Friday. Because they show up a Friday, and you see them at the end of it, and they're taking the headgear off, shaking their head. They're looking down.
Well, they're taking it off like round 3, if you notice.
Yeah, sometimes
3 or 4. They don't make it today.
Oh, that pisses me off so bad. Oh, man.
I know they're not ready, and they're not gonna make it if they're taking their headgear and gloves off in the middle of like
In the
the
middle of the
session.
round.
In the
Oh,
middle
yeah.
of the rounds, in the middle of the session. It's like, what are we stopping for? do you see what time it is? We got an hour here, buddy.
Do you know we don't stop?
We don't stop at all.
You see it so many times, and it cracks me up every time. But it's always the young guys, and they call Gio, and Gio learned this real quick because I told him when he told me when he first started, when he gets off a phone call, he's like, "Yeah, this guy said he wants to fight MMA." What do I always tell you, Gio?
He full of it, bro.
I say the same thing every time. It's not that I want to doubt these guys, and don't think that this is our customer service guys, but we welcome them with open arms. Truly, like, come on, bro, give me a big hug. I love you. We're gonna make you a good fighter. But they don't know the standard of training.
They don't get it.
Right? Like, you have to pass a test. It's not a written test. I just want to see if you have a sharp mind.
I wish somebody would have done that with me. My very first fight, bro. It was not.
I remember you telling me that.
It was not a camp. Man.
Yeah.
I wish somebody would have been like, nah, you need to do the test before we know if you can go get in the ring.
Yeah.
Because getting in the ring was the test. And when I tell you that dude beat my head like a freaking bongo, bro.
I remember you telling me this.
Yeah.
I was pissed listening to you tell me that.
I was
Because,
like, if I saw somebody that last kickboxing camp, we did have somebody, not gonna name names. It was training the exact same way that I was training for that fight. If I don't hit you hard, you won't hit me hard back.
Yeah.
And when you train with that type of mindset, when you train with the mindset that I can just kind of go easy, you're going to think that in the fight because I thought that in the fight, right? And that other guy doesn't think that.
Yeah.
The other guy thinks, put him to sleep now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I want this to be over now.
That's exactly right.
Yep. And we're going to transition to that here in a second. But every time he gives me the call, tells me that somebody called me, like, okay, let's see, right? Because you have to pass the test. You passing the test is a reason. People just want to, hey, I want to go fight. No, you don't just want to go fight, buddy. It's not sunshine and rainbows. The only time it's sunshine and rainbows is if you go through the trenches, you're in the trenches for 8 to 10 weeks, you finish the fight, whether you're hurt or you're not, you win the fight, okay? You're fine. Now you see the glory of fighting. Now you can talk about fighting. But if you, like Jared said, the test was the fight. If you wait to take the test on fight day, you will fail the test.
Almost every
I
single
will tell you right now. 9 times, if not 10 times out of 10, you will fail the test. And that's why the standard that I set, the training I set, and I'm still critiquing it every single time we have a fight camp. I change it up every single time because I'm learning something new from a different coach, a different fighter, okay? It's because when you walk into the cage, when I walk with you out to the cage, I am comfortable, okay? It's not me being selfish. I literally care for my fighters. I don't say that for the camera. I don't say that for the members to pay me. I care for you guys just like you're my brother, the same way. So I want to make sure that I have given every ounce. Like when you guys are on a fight camp, I'm ready for fight camp to be done because I'm exhausted. I am so exhausted. I'm ready for your fight to be done. Like I'm praying to God, like, please get us through this fight as soon as possible. Every single time, because I'm done. I'm through. I'm exhausted. I'm stressed beyond. My blood pressure is going through the roof, But because I want you when you get to the fight, there's no doubt. I know in every ounce of my will that I've given you everything and that you have given everything you have to win this fight.
Yeah.
And if you don't win the fight, you're not going to get hurt. Okay? That's the point of it. And so these guys call, and they think you just sign and pay a $50 fee and you go fight. And so many guys do that. And every single one, outside of you guys, outside of you two, okay, every single person that said that did not sign up after sparring.
Yeah, people don't want to really fight. They want to win. It's usually what like most people are thinking when they're like,
I'm gonna win.
Yeah, they're like, you want to win. If you want to fight, you want to like show up every single day.
But in order to get your hand raised, you have to get whooped every single day in the gym.
Yeah.
If you're winning in the gym, there's a problem.
There's a serious problem. You lose in the gym so that you don't ever lose out there.
Exactly. The only person that's stuck with it in kickboxing is Nate, William, and JC. Only in kickboxing. But everybody else has not come back. There was one guy fought MMA out of New York.
Mm-hmm. You did New York guy?
And Drew had a fight. And you were in the cage with him. I wasn't even in the cage with him. I think I got in the cage with him. No, I didn't get in the cage with him. I was coaching Drew, right? And this dude, and this is another pet peeve of mine, is don't coach my guys.
Oh, yeah.
If you're a random dude, don't talk to my guys.
Man,
it's not that I know everything.
Week.
Huh?
So we saw that last week.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah, the guy's cousin came in.
Oh, I think I saw that.
Yeah. I talked to him afterwards.
Okay, good.
I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah. But it's not that I know everything. But my guys are fighting in 2 weeks. It's none of your business. We have a game plan. Mm-hmm. We have a certain strategy that in training that we have to train for this fight. And this dude's coming in and he's doing all this. He's claiming to be all this. And I remember, looked at Jared. And what did I do, Jared?
Was that the one of them right there?
I told Jared, and Jared put it on him. Dude's attitude completely changed, okay? And it never came back. Never came back. That was it. And he was a fighter. He's fought before.
Has he?
He hasn't
fought Jared. He hasn't seen the show.
He hasn't saw the showstopper. But
I was just disappointed I couldn't stop his show.
But that's the reality of fighting. You know what I mean? That's the reality of fighting. Is like these guys think that they're going to just come in the gym, beat each other's heads off for 10 rounds, and they're taking a break every other round, and then, I get to go to a fight.
And then you're going to win the fight once you've done that.
Yeah, you think you're going to win after doing that, you're going to win the fight.
We didn't do any wrestling or anything like that. Nah, no cage work. We're just striking here.
That's not how that works, man.
Great.
From the beginning, you guys obviously are in a different spot now, right? After going through all this training and competition, how do you see these new guys coming up? We're kind of hit it right now, but you're seeing these new guys come into the gym, and you're training with these new guys, Do you remember the time when you first started? Do you see yourself like how they are now?
Yes. Especially with a few of them,
Yeah.
whose names I will not name, but I love them dearly. I see myself directly, in them, especially with how young they are. And, man, I'm just going to retire later because, when they get to, the professional level, I don't want any of that. But I would love to train. I love training with them, and I would love to train, hopefully to get to a point where I feel comfortable being able to coach them because I really like the attitude of the ones who have stuck around and seem to want to put in the work.
You're kind of talking about these young guys that they want to do the MMA sparring every Friday, and they're going after it.
They're going after it. Some of them, some of them hit or miss, but there's a couple in there that I know they want to do this and they want to be in there, win or lose, because they want to learn, and they're really good. Is the other thing too.
Is that how you were when you started?
No, I was not good. I liked. I showed up. And I was very, very aggressive, but I would lose a lot of the time. When it came to, I was pretty decent for. I was that white belt, I was the one who the other white belts they couldn't hold me. The blue belts, they were having king white belt. They were having the blue belts were having difficulty with me. Okay, they wouldn't meet my eyes when I'm looking at them. The purple belts, they'll take me, but like, do I have to take this guy? You know, is how it was. But for striking, I didn't have hands at all until I came to border martial arts. It's trademark. Is the camera over there? There we go. Until I came to border martial arts, I couldn't strike. But like. Yeah. Once I got like a good foundation and a good understanding of what fighting is, I was much better. But it seems like everyone who has come in that I have seen thus far, even the ones who haven't stuck around, they have a pretty solid foundation a lot of the times. A lot of them are wrestlers. A few of them have been to a Taekwondo class, like this one really cool guy.
Yeah, right.
They've sparred even.
Man, so. I was not like these guys when I first started. When I first wanted to fight, I was like, no, wait, I was a little bit like them, right? I was like, yeah, I want to bust somebody's head. I remember telling my first coach that when he was talking about, I'd never wrapped my hands before at all. He was like, oh yeah, we got to wrap your hands for the fight. And I was like, yeah, let's go. I'm ready to crack this dude's head. When I got to training, I was like some of the other guys, like I was talking about a minute ago. I was like, don't hit me. If I touch you soft, will you touch me soft? It was like a bad way to train, you know. But I learned after that fight, you know what I mean? Like, it's probably better for people to start aggressive. You know what I mean? Start out in your early training or whatever. Start out kind of, no, not being a dick, but being aggressive. You know what I mean? Being like a hard spar kind of.
I think it's easier to scale people back than it is to build them forward and teach them to be aggressive. Because we've had people who have done a lot better and come really far, but like the one thing that they only needed to fix, like with sparring, like Muay Thai guys, is that they just need to be slightly more aggressive, even slightly more so, and you would be better because the skills are there. I just need you to believe in yourself. You have hands too. You can hit them. You're allowed to hit them even.
It's hard to get people to go harder if they start out soft, I think.
Yeah.
It's their mindset, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's that, I don't want to hurt anybody or I don't want to get hurt type of mindset.
I like the guys who come in here and they're looking to fight. Yeah. Okay? Like, it's Friday, dude, and I came here to scrap, and that's all I wanted to do.
Which we're about to do here in a little bit.
I was about to say, which in a little bit here.
Like, we're all sitting in the chair like, all right, let's do it. Nate's already texted me like, Mo, you sparring tonight? I'm like,
yeah.
I guess.
He texted me. He called me.
He called me?
Yeah, he was calling me a minute ago.
Yeah, he called me too right now. I told him we're in the podcast.
Oh, man.
All the guys are waiting outside the building for us.
Mouthpieces in, dude. Gloves ready.
Right.
Oh, they're warm.
Hands wrapped. They're shadow boxing in the parking lot.
Just waiting, dude.
Y'all coming from, we already hinted at it. You talked about it a little bit, but what is the biggest thing that you saw in mindset shift and training shift from previous training to this academy now and the program that we have?
For one, it's a coach that cares enough to see you win or cares enough to like help you train. Because not to crap on any other coaches or whatever, but I mean, comparatively, it's way different. You know what I mean? You're in a way better place here than places I've been where they're like, oh yeah, you got to fight in a few weeks. Yeah, go hold pads for that guy. You know what I mean? It's like oh, did you run? I don't care if you ran. You know what I mean? It's like when you come here, it's like when you're holding pads for me during camp. You know what I mean? It's a fighting the pads. You know what I mean? Every single day. Hey, did you run? Did you run this week? Are you running this week? When's your next run? You know what I mean? Like, you know, you got coaches here that are going to pester you to make you better. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's something I didn't have before.
How important do you think the coach is in the fighting aspect? Like, if you're going to be a fighter.
How important is the coach?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I mean, it makes a world of difference. Like, obviously you can have natural fighting ability. You can be naturally athletic, you know, but if you don't have a coach that, for one, knows what he's talking about, right? Like, if he's like giving you these like BS combos like that Russian martial artist guy who does all the weird, you know, just if you got a guy that's doing some crap like that, for one, like, you're gonna get beat up when you get in the ring or the cage, right? Or if you have a coach that, and this, I think this is equally as important, if you have a coach that doesn't care about the way you train or care about your life outside of the gym, you're going to get beat up when you get in the cage of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like I just said, like, you care about that. You know what I mean? You're like, have you stopped eating cakes? Have you stopped drinking? You know what I mean? It's, man, that's the
Boy.
thing. That's the thing that's going to get me. Cookies
Chocolate
and
chip
cupcakes.
cookies and brownies. My God.
Man. And then, before I ever started a fight camp here, you were like, for one, you know, you need to lose 10 pounds. Yeah, and I did. I remember the day I told you, I was like, Mo, I lost 10 pounds. I thought you forgot about it. You were like, oh, yeah. But you were like, and you don't need to drink anymore. I'm like, okay, bet.
Alcohol, right?
Yeah, alcohol, yeah. And I was like, okay. But, you know, you have a coach that cares about, you know, don't put crap in your body, eat clean, put the work in. You know, if you don't have that, you might beat some other guys that also have a coach that's like that. But, I mean, you're going to need the coach to push you. You're going to need a coach that cares about you, you know, and you're going to win the fights.
Yes, sir. So stop it, baby.
You stop them shows.
Yes, sir. What about you, Aaron? What do you think is the biggest difference that you saw, and how important is a coach?
I mean, the coaches, like Jared said, everything. Having this was like the first place that I'd ever been that had some very, very real structure with their MMA program that also worked at the same time. I've been to places that have had structure that did not quite work, or maybe it didn't work for me, I should say. But having anyone who feels like the person cares a little bit. It feels like people aren't trying to hurt you in sparring; they're trying to push you in sparring, which is like completely different, and it's bigger. And having like Jared said, where you were like, you got to lose 10 pounds, basically. Like, we won't tell you straight up, like, you're fat. You need to we need to cut that off or something.
Oh, I was like, I want to fight at 155. No. You're going to fight at 145.
I think I told him 35, and he was like, yeah, you're doing 25.
Yeah, I was shook when he said that.
I'm like, I'm doing 25. We're fighting at 125. It's the honesty is like the important part, because I've been to some gyms where you can say you're going to be a fighter, and like, yeah, they'll maybe like test you and they'll push you, but they're like, they let you take the lead on like what you want to do, like what your style is going to be. And after being here, like I realize now that I don't like that. Like I was someone, and even now with the experience I have, I am someone who is constantly learning and trying to improve myself as a fighter. And you guys are coaches for a reason. You coach, so you should be telling me what I'm doing. Like, when you were telling me the game plan in my fights, I was like, this is what I want to do. And you're like, no, this is what we're going to do. Like, this is how we're going to win. We're actually going to win instead of whatever it is you think we're going to be doing. Because, like, just to be perfectly honest, like, if I was in charge of a lot of my training sessions, I don't know if I would be able to push myself like how you guys push me. Because some of that stuff, I don't want to do. I don't want to do some of that stuff. Like, some of those exercises are horrible, and I don't want to go through them. But I need to go through them.
Yep.
And without having that extra push in the back of your mind, without having you saying, Aaron, you got to get up. Aaron, do you want to fight? Aaron, we need to run. We need to do this. Yeah. Like, you need to get up right now. Do not let him take you down. Like, all of those things are things that were desperately needed to make me a better athlete. Like, I couldn't have done any of this without that. So, extremely important from my experience.
Heck yeah.
You need somebody that's going to sharpen your sword.
You do.
I like that.
Honestly, it's true, though.
Yeah.
You got to have somebody that you can sharpen your sword against, or that's going to sharpen it for you.
Yeah, like, I'm thinking of that, like, the fight, what is it? That Connor came back for Dustin, like maybe the second one or something like that. And he said he spent like 2 or 3 weeks of that camp training by himself in the gym. It's like, well, it showed when you got beat down. When you got beat up, like, for the majority of that first round when Dustin touched him. So
yeah,
it shows, like, you can, when you were telling me about, you can tell, like, in sparring, you can tell if someone hasn't been doing their running. Like, Mo does ask you. I text him my times because I need to check in, like, to hold myself accountable and for him to hold me accountable. But he's like, I can tell. You can be in sparring. I can tell when you haven't been doing your running. But I can tell when I've looked at someone in a competition. Like, the face-off, even jiu-jitsu, dude, I can look at him and I'll be like, you haven't been running. You haven't been running. Not like me.
Tony Montana said it best before. He said, the eyes never lie, Chico.
Never.
You know? The eyes never lie. You know? And we always talk about this conference is like an aura that vibrates off of you, right? And fighters have it a lot. Fighters have it. Confident men, confident women have it. Successful people have it. People that have a strong spirit, or they say strong vibration, they have this aura, right? And when you sharpen your sword for 8 weeks, your aura is so strong.
So strong.
And if you have a hard spirit, if you're like what they say, like a hard guy, a strong warrior, you have a strong aura, Mm-hmm. And even when you have nothing, like the T word, we don't like saying tired. We don't believe in being tired. Let's just say fatigue, okay? I think it sounds a little bit better than being tired.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're fatigued, but you still got that dog in you, like it's like you can't break this guy, and the other guy knows this, So and over the years I've learned this, and I'll tell you guys, like, hey, like you said, you haven't been running, or I would ask you to see what your answer is, right? And I know when you're lying.
Yeah.
I just want to see if it's a test, because if you lie to me, there's some other repercussions that you're gonna get, And the kickboxing fights, me and Jared both looked at each other. We both talked about it. I said, dude, the next camp.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. If you're gonna fight kickboxing and you're listening to the podcast, guys, just go ahead and mentally prepare, because we're gonna run.
Oh yeah.
We are going to run. We are going to run. And the thing is, you can't lie. If your spirit is weak, if your sword is not sharp, it will be revealed on fight day.
Yeah.
There's nowhere else that you can go and honesty comes out, the truth comes out. The jiu-jitsu mats in the cage, fighting, combat sports. Not a basketball game. A basketball game, 4 other players on there can come back and help you survive and win. But when you're locked in an MMA cage with one other guy, the truth is going to be revealed. Doesn't matter how much you fake it. The truth is going to be revealed. I had a fight against this one guy, and this dude didn't make weight. I made my weight. Okay, but when I first got there, so I have a scale, they have a scale. When I got there, their scale was off. I thought my scale was on. Mm. I was a pound and a half off. I went early, checked my weight. And I'm like, darn it. Said, okay, no big deal. I'm going to go cut my weight. I didn't sit there. I didn't ask for forgiveness. I didn't ask for, hey, please let me fight. No. I walked, literally said, I'll be back. I mean, you're not talking much on weighing day.
Yeah.
Thought I'll be back. Left. Came back. Checked the weight. On weight. Looking for my opponent. And he was out of a good gym out of Nashville. And so I'm already like, it's going to be a fight. And this was after a fight. I lost my 4th fight. I decided to get back in fight camp 2 months later.
Yeah, you're angry.
I came back from the fight. I went straight into fight camp. The fight was 2 months later after I finished the fight. So I went through 2 camps back to back because I was upset with myself. And so I was in a different zone, completely different zone. I had honestly, those 8 weeks were the hardest 8 weeks of my life because I didn't care about nothing. It was 8 weeks. I was solely focused on this fight. I had no soul, really. I was cold. I was super cold. And he walks up to me. Him and his teammates. He had puppy dog eyes. His teammates, oh, he's not making weight. I saw him in a sauna suit in the middle of the summer running outside. Go cut your weight. His teammates watched me cut my weight. They were in the tub with me because one of the other guys were fighting.
Yeah.
They watched me cut weight. And you have the audacity to ask me to be a pound and a half heavy. I just kind of cut a pound and a half. No, sir. Go do it. He went and did it, came back. He was being super disrespectful. I was talking with somebody after I got my Pedialyte. You already know how the Pedialyte hits.
Yeah, man.
You're a dead man walking on weighing day. But when you get that blue Pedialyte,
you take on a country.
You can fight a whole country. Yeah. Your soul comes back. Your life comes back. And I'm having a conversation with somebody. You're still hangry, though. You're still pissed. You're ready to fight. You're not talking a lot. You're not jolly. But I have a big thing with respect. Don't disrespect me. I don't care who you are. Do not disrespect me. And we're at, just like how me and Jared are right here, 3 feet. This dude walks in front of us.
It's like right between.
And he did it 3 times.
Does he want to fight right there?
Oh, he wanted to fight right there.
I looked at somebody that was with me, and I was like, dude, if you want to fight, let's just do it. Honestly, if you want to do it, let's just do it now. Let's not wait until tomorrow. If you're going to do this, Let's just do it now. You know, that's my mindset. Anyway, I calmed myself down, waited until the fights. At the fights, kept mean mugging me. Came to like my side, bouncing around, like just staring me down. Okay? And I just ignored him. Like, do all you want, buddy. Like, we're finna get in the cage. You know, like, at the end of the night, we're finna get in the cage. And the point I'm getting to is the running thing, right? The look that you have, that you said that you see in the eyes, right? First round, this dude comes after me. We're clinched up. Coach Borders yelling at me because I lost my fight before that because of the same reason. It was a clinch, but my back was on the cage. I like to fight with my back on the cage, right? That's my problem. I love that position. I winked at Coach Borden. I'm like, I got this. You know what I'm saying? Like, Mo, you got to pick it up. I knew I had to pick it up already. We get back to the corner. We're looking at each other. We just dead stare across the cage. I get off the stool like 30 seconds early. Literally, Borden gave me a sip of water, put the ice, I got up. I wanted to just fight.
Yeah.
And I started bouncing around. When he was on the stool, he was hunched over. He was hunched over like this, and I can see his stomach go all the way in and all the way out. All the way in. He was taking big
deep breaths, dude.
Big deep breaths, right? I'm like, you're done, fool. Like, I knew it. And what we do before every fight is we bounce, right? We bounce for multiple reasons, okay? But the bounce started. And we're looking at each other dead in the eyes. And he started doing the same thing. Like, bro, you're 2 steps behind.
Right.
You know?
I've been doing this for 30 seconds now.
I've already started this. And sure enough, he gave in. The fight was over. I beat him. You know, finished him with a knee to the stomach, to the liver. But it showed. It's clear as light. So if you do your homework, you're going to be fine. It will not show. Even if you are fatigued, it won't show. But if and this is something I sent Gio, something similar to this today. Your soul, your spirit knows whether you did the work.
Yeah.
And so my job as a coach for you guys is your spirit knows we didn't cut no corners. Your spirit, your sword was sharpened for every day. So when it gets hard in the fight, it's okay. Let's not panic because the body has a natural mechanism where it panics.
Yeah.
It either fights or flight. And if it panics in the fight, you start flighting, you start running, you fatigue so much faster, and you quit. That's why we do our homework in the gym. And a lot of people don't know that science behind it.
Yeah.
They ignore it. Fighting is very deep. Fighting is not just hit the bag, hit pads, go to the fight and fight. It's all in here first. You have to rewire your mind. You have to rewire your spirit. You know what I'm saying? You have to forge your spirit, the warrior spirit.
Drew told me that in my fight camp, where he was like, you're going to know if you didn't do the running that day. You're going to know, like, you only ran 1 mile and you're supposed to be doing 3 or something like that. You're going to know if you jogged or if you walked during some of that time. Or you're going to know if you didn't show up for a training session or something like that. Like, you are going to know when you get in there because it shows up every single time.
And you know.
Yeah, you know.
When you're on the stool in between rounds and you have 2 more fights to go and you're going, holy crap, Mo, I should have ran.
I didn't do any
It's like,
running.
that first kickboxing tournament, man, I didn't hardly run at all. I was running maybe once a week. I think I was averaging like once a week.
I knew it.
He was asking me, and I was like, I'm like, man, you know, I'm planning on it. It's Thursday. Yeah,
I told him after the fight. Like, I knew you didn't run.
Yeah.
Did you just think it would be like easy, or was it one of those things where you're just like, I'd be fine?
You know what the crazy thing is? I'm gonna interrupt him for a second. The crazy thing is, he didn't do all of his homework, and that's why I tell guys, like, that's when I knew who Jared, the showstopper Hopper, was, who he become, right? When I tell you it was 3 days that he fought. He fought 3 days back to back, 3 tough dudes, and I saw those fights. I'm like, bro, give him Bocal right now. Where's Sanchez? You know what I'm saying? Just go get him, please, go get him. When I watched that, and he didn't do everything. There was a lot going on, whatever he had personally, right?
Man, I was so I was like, it was cold. I hate running when it's cold. That fight was in February. right? The beginning of February, I think.
Yeah.
Man, it was freezing freaking cold. At least it felt like it. If it's 40 degrees, it's freezing cold to me. I hate running when it's cold, bro. I had some type of respiratory infection or whatever, but excuses, right? You go out there and I'm like, I'm like, I knew when I was hitting those guys, I was like, man, if I had just had a little bit more cardio, this fight would have been done 30 seconds ago.
Yep. You were at 50% in the tournament that you won. That's pretty crazy to think about.
I wouldn't call it 50. I was above 50%.
You go 50%?
Yeah, but
Jared with no running to 60%.
Jared with no running. That's right.
And he went through 3 guys. I'm finna show you something funny because now what's our mindset now, guys? Like you said, it was cold, but how is it now?
Man, I'm gonna run. I'm not about to go into a fight. I don't care if it's 2 degrees outside. I'm gonna run because I'm not going into a fight now. Between the first and second round, going, God, if I had more cardio, you know what I mean? Like there was an instance in the third fight. I had the dude reeling. It was right after an 8 count or whatever, and I'm like, man, I knew exactly what I could do. You know, throw that jab straight down the middle. He's a southpaw, whatever. I could kick him to the body. I could do whatever I wanted. Did not have the cardio for it. I'm like, man, I know exactly what I can do right now to put this guy to sleep. And it wasn't there. It wasn't there because I didn't run.
I think I've only felt like the true like fatigue in a competition, like once in a jiu-jitsu competition where my arms, like I legitimately felt like my arms, I could not do anything else with those arms. Like if he got me if I had been in a compromising position and I needed my arms to get out, I was gonna die. Basically, is how I felt. But that's only happened the one time. Was that like how it felt at the tournament for you?
It wasn't like I was like. It never felt like I was gonna die. Like it never felt like those guys could have. Well, I don't want to say they couldn't have beaten me, right? But it never felt like I was going to completely lose control of the fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I was. It was like I said. It was like, hey, I can finish this right now if I had just a little bit more cardio. If I had just a little bit more energy, this fight would be over with right now. But didn't have it because I didn't do the homework.
You didn't do the homework, dude.
So I'm trying to pull this video up because now if it's cold or snow and we got to run, what are we going to do?
You go out there?
You got to go out there.
You going to go out there and run?
So in 2021, I had a fight, okay? And there was some things, kind of some drama going on in my life at that point. And it was with some other people, other fighters. And it was one of those things where, like, it was, I was told that you're not allowed to lose a fight. Was
this your title fight?
No, it was not the title fight. Yeah. But I was told I'm not allowed to lose the fight. I mean, every fight you're not allowed to lose, right?
But that one you couldn't
lose. It was a snow blizzard.
Yeah.
And I knew that person wasn't training. So it was Rocky mode.
Yeah.
Is that you?
Frozen snot,
The
frozen
beard.
beard. Let me see if it comes out in the camera. I'm trying to see if it focuses. I don't know if you can see it, guys, but it's frozen beard and frozen snot on my nose. But that was in 2021 before one of my fights. And so when you have a fight, the whole point is when you said you don't want to run, yeah, you won, right? And which was very impressive. But like you were told, everything's going to show up whether you cheated or not. And so for me that day was like, it was a lot of pressure on me. So snow blizzard, let's run.
Yeah.
It was snowing, I was running. You know, I was slipping in the snow with my tennis shoes. It was freezing cold, but we had to run, you know? So guys, and we're going to wrap it up with this, is why do we sharpen our sword? Why did I decide to name the podcast Sharpen Your Sword? Why do I believe in this idea, okay, this philosophy of sharpen your sword? Because it doesn't matter what it is that's in your life. If you're lying to yourself, okay, your body's going to know it, okay? If you sharpen your sword and you're honest with yourself and you do the work, you do the hard things, okay, your body knows. And so your body's going to listen when you tell it to do something, or your mind's going to listen when you tell it to react a certain way if you sharpen your sword. But if you lie to yourself and you're in the middle of the fight, okay, and you're telling yourself, hey, I need to fight or I need to grapple. Remember, you said your hands are fatigued. Your arms are not going to work. Your body's not going to work. Your mind's not going to work because it's weak, okay? So you don't want a weak sword. You don't want a weak mind. You don't want a weak body. If you want to be able to withstand any problems that come up in your life, any calamities, any things that stresses you out, any divorce, breakup, family death, whatever it is, business failures, financial struggles, whatever it is, personal, mental health, emotional health, whatever it is. If you don't sharpen your sword, one of those things are going to come take your lunch money. Okay, so don't lie to yourself and say you're strong and you're ready and you're doing this, but you don't do nothing to sharpen your sword. You have to wake up every single day and sharpen your sword so you're ready for whatever life throws at you. That's the whole idea behind sharpen your sword. Okay? So if you want to be better for yourself, for your family, your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your parents, your kids, your community, your country, sharpen your sword every single day so when life hits, you can hit back harder. All right, guys? That's what we're going to wrap it up with. These guys are going to be back on this podcast 100%. Jared, the showstopper hopper, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you for having us, man.
Aaron Flippin, thank you for coming on the show.
Anytime.
And Gio Jimenez, the number one co-host in the whole universe.
There we go.
Like always, thank you so much. And you guys, thank you so much. Love you guys. Appreciate all the support. And this is going to wrap up episode 10 of Sharpen Your Sword podcast. Sharpen that sword. Let's see you next time on Sharpen Your Sword podcast. Peace out.